The best example of MCU choreography perhaps is the epic clash between the Incredible Hulk and the Mad Titan himself Thanos at the beginning of Avengers Infinity War. We spent close to 10 years showing off how powerful the Hulk was in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Only Abomination and the Hulkbuster would even come close to besting him. In order to make Thanos the scariest villain possible, the Russo brothers decided to throw us a curveball and have Thanos beat the hell out of the Hulk within the first 30 minutes of the film. In today's technical readout, we dive into that epic fight between Thanos and the Incredible Hulk. So yes, Thanos is scary, but more importantly, he's technically sound as a boxer. He does a phenomenal job of mixing things up technically against the Hulk's brawler style of fighting. There's a saying in fighting, styles make fights. Thanos and the Hulk is the most exaggerated form of such a thing on a giant cosmic scale. The Hulk is the classic definition of a brawler. He goes in there with brute force and strength and goes for a quick finish because that's always worked for him. Thanos, on the other hand, is a mastermind tactician. He uses his technique and knowledge and experience from previous fights to give him the upper hand. After Loki says, "We have the Hulk,"
We have the Hulk.
Hulk bum rushes Thanos and shoulder tackles him more like a football player, catching Thanos off guard. Hulk then unleashes a barrage of punches on Thanos that usually works for him. This time, Thanos, being as tactically minded as he is a step ahead of the Hulk. While he is getting hit, taking some damage, he rolls his body with the punches, not only minimizing the damage received, but he is also letting the Hulk use his energy very early on. Hulk then presses Thanos against the wall, much like a wrestler would against the cage, and has his hands around Thanos' neck. The important thing here is to not lose oxygen. Thanos presumably breathes oxygen. Thanos then grabs wrist control and outmuscles the Hulk, which could have been a costly error, but it worked for Thanos because he stopped the choke and stopped himself from passing out. Now, Thanos gathers his rage and starts an actual game plan. He punches the Hulk in the throat and stuns him momentarily. The Hulk throws a wild left punch. You can see Thanos parry with his left hand to open up the counter to the jab and hook to the chest. A very uncomfortable shot to eat. Thanos does a good job stepping into his jab and squaring up for the hook, pivoting on his foot and into his hips so he can get the most power out of the shot. The hook was the real intended shot from Thanos, using the jab to open up the body and leave it exposed. Thanos then uses the wild momentum of Hulk's wide punches and gains access behind the Hulk. That's where he throws another nasty hook, but this time to the body lower spine. While this is an illegal blow in competition, all is fair in war. The spinal shot hurts the Hulk even more and opens up the next flurry of punches. It's at this point in the fight that the brawler, Hulk, has shown his best shots. Thanos the tactician has done well at missing all the main damaging shots. What's real interesting here is Thanos switches up from southpaw stance to orthodox as he mixes up his head shots and his body shots. Orthodox stance is where your left foot is forward and southpaw is the opposite. The purpose in the stance switch here is to confuse the Hulk and not become too predictable. With different punches coming from different sides and angles, it doesn't let your opponent get in a rhythm that is able to counter punches. Two notable fighters that are masters at switching stances is UFC superstar Conor McGregor and boxer Bud Crawford. Then comes the finishing sequence. First, he intends to disorient the Hulk so he can put an end to the fight easier. He grabs the back of the head and sidesteps the Hulk again, bringing his face down to the knee, likely giving the Hulk a concussion with a huge Muay Thai blast. Thanos lifts the Hulk over his head, more like a pro wrestler in WWE than any fighter, and slams the Hulk on his head for the knockout finish. Thanos wins this fight, but we know the rest of the story. Infinity Stones, blah blah, he should have gone for the head, yeah, snap. Anyhow, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this piece as much as I had fun recording it. I'm looking forward to do my next MCU fight breakdown soon.